Once the system is configured, it's time to put the control in the hands of the end user.
There are two main ways that the end users can interact with the system, either through the physical wall-mounted MFC controller or through the MP Manage app installed on any smartphone.
First, let's look at the MP-MFC wall mount controllers. These intuitive tactile controllers can be installed in any standard junction box and can be used to make simple adjustments for gain and source across multiple zones, as well as loading scenes. They connect to the MFC port on the back of the MP-M series mixer and can be daisy-chained to allow for up to 4 controllers on the same port. This means you can have up to 8 MFC controllers on a single MP-M, which you see represented on the left side of your screen here on the MFC setup page. You can access this page either from the setup wizard or by navigating to the menu and selecting controllers.
Begin by naming a controller. Then you can choose single or multi-zone control and determine which zone or zones it will control. Since you've already assigned the possible sources for these zones, these options will automatically populate as choices in your MFC controller. Simply press the Center Select button to see the list of possible sources, scroll to your choice, and select it.
MFC controllers also have the ability to trigger preloaded scenes. A scene is a saved configuration of your design, which you can configure in the menu. To allow an MFC to load a particular scene, simply select that scene here from a list of all of the available scenes. Any scene with a star icon next to it is recallable on the MFC, while the others are not. To recall a scene, double-tap the Select button on the controller and then select the scene. Now that you've defined what the MFC can do, you can pair the physical MFC with the MP-M.
Pairing an MFC controller with the MP series mixer couldn't be simpler. Just select any available controller and then select the Pair button. Every connected MFC in the system will display a notice that it is now in pairing mode. Then simply walk to that controller and press any button. The physical MFC controller will be paired with its representation in the MP Install app. Do that for each of your devices, and that's it.
And that's pretty much all there is to the MFCs. They're simple to set up and simple to use. For more advanced end user control, you may want to set up smartphone controls for the end users who are using the MP Manage app.
You can access this page either from the Setup Wizard or by going to Menu, Smartphone. The major control difference between the wall controller and the smartphone is the ability to set up different user profiles and assign different privileges to each user type. You can create 8 different users simply by selecting one and giving it a name. Then decide which zones that user level should have access to control. So pick as many as make sense for this user. You then have a second column of other types of controls that you can choose to engage or disengage for each user. You can allow a user to access the Wi-Fi paging, the scheduler, the ability to recall and save scenes, lock certain zones, or to control the mixer or the USB player. Be sure to press the Save button for this user before you move on to the next one, and you'll notice that the first user on the list always has security options available, but you can elect whether or not other users have access to this.
When your user installs the MP Manage app, be sure they connect to the same wireless network as the MP device, and then they'll receive a notification that they have connected, but they have not yet been assigned access. On your manager device, you'll see a pop-up that a new device has connected. You can then access the password page on that smartphone and use your manager access to unlock the new device. And then select a user profile to link that particular smartphone, giving them the appropriate access.
In another video, we'll go through end user functionality of the MP Manage app, just in case your end users forget how to use it. But you should definitely spend some time reviewing these controls with your end user before you complete your commissioning.
Since you'll already be well versed in the MP install by this point in the installation, it should be fairly intuitive to you. It gives you access to different areas of the configuration, but the interface is in a different configuration that fits the smartphone.
If you've been progressing forward with the Setup Wizard, you're almost all done. Check your wall controllers and smartphones task off the list, and you now have a fully functional system. All that's left is to enter your job information and generate a report. This will compile all of the system's settings into a single text file, which you can use for reference later.
However, just because you're done with the Setup Wizard doesn't mean you fully mastered this system. There are a few features that we haven't explored on the MP series, such as the mixers and scenes and GPI setup and the USB player, which we'll cover in upcoming videos. Until then, we'll see you next time.